Whether you're listening at home, at work, or anywhere, thanks for making Para X part of your day. Your source for everything paranormal, Para X.
And welcome back, everybody, right here to the Paranormal View on the Para X Radio Network. I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight, and want to welcome back Barbara Duncan.
Everybody.
And I know we have listeners from around the world. Where do we have listeners at tonight?
Tonight they're coming in all over from the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, and Australia.
Wow. We're reaching all the way around the world then.
Wow.
Yeah. And
cool.
we have with us Jeffrey Gould.
Hello, hello.
And we want to welcome our guest back tonight, Tabby Cat.
How you doing?
All right. So you're still with us, huh?
Yeah, my sinuses are still bugging me, but I'm still here.
Not abducted. That's good.
Yes, it is.
I can't breathe, but at least I'm able to talk.
Now, we was talking about ghosts and you getting messages. Question. Any messages?
Another completely right turn here.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
More like a U-turn.
But we'll get back on whatever it is Barbara's wanting to talk about because she's chomping at the bit. But I was just wondering if you had messages for anybody here.
Yeah, tell Patsy to be careful of her pincushion.
Ah.
All right. Be careful of her pin cushion.
And what about tomorrow's winning lottery numbers, please?
Oh, man, don't I wish I knew that one. We need a new air conditioner unit, so I really need to hit the lottery.
Yeah.
You know, there's been studies done on that, and it's fascinating. They asked psychics if they could do some predictions for stock markets, stuff that they had absolutely no connection to, and, you know, they were pretty darn accurate. But when they started asking them to predict gold and silver futures, they couldn't do it. There's something about monetary where it might affect them somehow. They just can't do it.
Yeah.
Could be because...
I mean, who knows what that's caused from, but, I mean, when you have people that, numerologists and astrologists who rely on numbers and the stars and everything, and they're able to predict, oh, well, you're getting ready to come into some money, or you're getting ready to do this, that, and the other. They don't say how it's going to happen, but they're able to do that. But yet people aren't able to pick out winning lottery numbers. What is the spirit world doesn't want people to win? I mean, why?
And, you know, I know somebody who feels sometimes very lucky, and he'll go get a lottery scratch-off ticket. And he's very good at that because he has a hunch that, hey, I'm going to win. It's never very much. But it's, you know, it's one of those little tiny hunch things. You know, you know, it's fascinating how it sometimes works and doesn't work, but usually you can't predict from yourself.
No.
Weird how that works.
I mean, I've tried to read my own tarot cards, and I've tried to read my own runes, but I finally gave up doing it because I read into it what I want to read, and that's not good. You can't do that. You know, you have to go into it with a completely unbiased idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I rely on other people to do that for me. So,
well, my tarot teacher indicated, that it's almost impossible to read for oneself. Any elaborate spread because it's gonna color your own reading.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, same can be said with the pendulum,
I mean, I
too.
can read other people's, but I can't do it for myself.
Go
So
ahead,
yeah, a
Barbara.
pendulum will do the same thing. You can make it go yes, no. It's very easy to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to close my eyes when I'm using a pendulum, especially
Hmm.
because if I have my eyes open and I'm looking at it, I can unconsciously rock back and forth and, cause it to say yes or no or whatever. But if I've got my eyes closed, I have to rely on other people to tell me which way it's doing it.
Mm.
And that way it's a little less biased.
Always wanted to get a pendulum stand
And
where,
then
you
just
had the little
I've
stand
got a
with all the
bunch of them.
circles. Yeah.
and you don't touch it.
I've
You
got a
just
bunch of them. I made some.
Oh, did you?
hmm.
Yeah, I made a whole bunch of them a few years back to sell at a Paracon, and still have a number of them left over. When the show's over, give me your address. I'll send you one.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Hmm.
There's a number of them that had circles with the whole alphabet on them, kind of like a mini Ouija board setup that are actually kind of interesting. How those work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my palms read
Well,
once, and the guy said I had great dowser's thumbs. But the problem is I had them on both thumbs, which means the dowsing rods would get kind of confused because usually one is dominant than the other. But he said, use a pendulum. You'd be really good at that. And I'm going, yeah, but I can make it do what I want it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not touching
I was
it.
very fortunate. I was able to learn how to use a pendulum and to get some different techniques, actually from the Reverend Tim Shaw.
Yay!
I met him a couple of years back in Gettysburg, and he was teaching classes. And some of the things, some of the pointers that he had about using both the dowsing rods and the pendulums was just absolutely fascinating. And I've been using those techniques ever since. Some of them I never even thought of, including using a little round pallet for the pendulum. And I never even thought of that before. I mean, you can make them yourself. They're similar to a Ouija board where they have the numbers and the letters and yes, no, and stay and go and whatever. But the way he showed me how to use the pendulum made sure that I was influencing the way it was moving. Because you see some people just holding on to the tip of it, and of course it's going to rock back and forth because your hand isn't stable. Or like using the dowsing rods, if you're holding them out in front of you for too long a time, your arms are going to get shaky. You're supposed to have your arms in, up against you when you're holding onto them. That sort of thing. He has some of the most fascinating things to say about both the pendulum and the dowsing rods. I was fortunate to have been able to meet him, and he's quite a character. Definitely the character.
The Tim Shaw, that name kind of rings a bell. But
Yeah.
You watch Doctor Who, right? Oh,
yeah, he is an amazing character.
Yeah, he was with me on my first investigation. Yeah. And go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was going to say he was on your first investigation. I can get back to me.
Yeah. Matter of fact, when I first met him, there was a whole bunch of them there when Dave took us over to where the people was. He come out, and I'm looking. He stood about 2 foot taller than me, and he just picked me up off the ground like I wasn't nothing. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was surprised at how tall he was. Yeah. I mean, I walked up to him and introduced myself. Hey, I'm Tabby Cat. Hey, how you doing? The next thing I know, he reaches down, and his whole body was just a big bear around him. But he's, a gentle giant. Yeah. Just a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Mr. Bear Hug.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep.
So,
Jeff, you were saying something?
I was just saying that I was catching up on some of the shows I was watching on Travel Channel, which is like almost all paranormal all the time nowadays. And Tim Shaw was one of the side interviews. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. He's on quite a few of it.
He's on Most Terrifying Places quite a bit.
Yeah, that was one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really strange. My grandniece, she has a certain amount of abilities herself, but she's afraid of them. And my niece, her mother, has been watching, paranormal shows pretty much since the day one, from the time that they all started umpteen years ago. And it wasn't until my grandniece turned, I guess, maybe 8 or 9, then my niece started letting her watch some of them too. Well, anyone who has my book, you will see that my dedication is to my niece. And my second book will be dedicated to my grandniece. But it was something a few nights ago when I was talking to my niece. She says, Aunt Kathy, Samantha was telling me how much she would really like to meet certain people in the paranormal field. And she says, well, your Aunt Kathy met an awful lot of people in the paranormal field. If she's just met them, at paracons and conventions and things like that, or she's actually investigated with some of these people. And my grandniece says, "You've got to be kidding me!" And the next thing I know, my phone's blowing up. Oh really? What is this person like? What do they sound like? This, that. And oh my gosh! Well, you really want to know? These people are human. They put on pants just like everybody else. They can have attitude problems like anybody else. They can be friendly. They can be arrogant. They're just people. Yes, celebrities, yes, a lot of them are. But they're just people. But it's been my fortunate, I'm very fortunate to have met so many absolutely wonderful people in the paranormal field, and been even more fortunate to be able to investigate with a number of them. And Henry, you are actually one of the top of the list. Thank you very much.
Really? How'd I get there?
Yes, you are.
She's learned not to be between you and a door.
I don't think that I'm really all that bad. I haven't been real scared.
What do you mean
yet.
all that bad?
No, I mean, as far as having somebody between me and the door. I don't get that scared.
I would love to see Henry having a YouTube channel of ghost adventuring and just watching him freaking out. It would just be hilarious.
I would not be anything like those shows that's on TV.
I didn't say the shows on TV. I'm talking about there are thousands, I don't know about thousands, but tons of people who have YouTube channels, and they go out and they do their own private investigations. And a lot of times they're hilarious because they're so adrenaline up with their own fear in advance that it's like, why are you even bothering if you're going to be this scared? It's, you're just going to, every little thing is going to set you off, and it does. And it's just kind of silly and weird. It's like watching Zach Baggins trying to pretend that he's, got a spine.
Yeah.
Tabby Cat can
I was
tell
just
you.
watching a show earlier this evening, and my husband was asking me, well, if something like that really happened to you, how would you react to it? Well, I'd probably immediately go running toward that noise. That's what I would do. And
There
you
you
wouldn't
go.
go running out of there? No. My first reaction would be to go look to find out where the
What?
noise came from.
Right, or what caused it.